What is good, everybody? My name is Jacob. I have been a diehard Pistons fan since 2003, and I am eager to see this team getting back to playing winning basketball. On today's video, we are just a few hours away from the NBA draft, but we did get some news that is not really affiliated or related to that, and I did want to speak on it quickly because it is something a lot of people in the fan base were curious about. So we did get some reports that the Pistons will be renouncing their rights to James Wiseman. So he was going to be a restricted free agent this coming offseason. However, since we're renouncing their rights, that's pretty much just the writing on the wall that he will no longer be a Detroit Piston going forward. Of course, we made a trade to get James Wiseman. What was it, about a year and a half ago now, in exchange for Saddiq Bey in a four-team deal where 5 picks were involved. It was just a whole bunch of stuff, but when it really boiled down for us, it was Saddiq Bey for James Wiseman. James Wiseman in Detroit obviously did not go as well as a lot of us hoped, as well as the fans or the front office hoped, and that's pretty evident considering he won't be returning. How do I feel about it personally? I think it's the right decision. This kind of felt like it was going to happen even some months ago. James Wiseman himself posted a tweet the other day that was talking about a reset, which kind of was like a video of him just going through day-to-day stuff, but nevertheless, it was pretty obvious he was on his way out. Realistically, I just think that the Pistons need to move away from these reclamation projects, and we just don't really have space right now or minutes to go around for players that are either in their 5th year in the league and still not a finished product, or they're just not good. And unfortunately, that's exactly what James Wiseman was. There's definitely a lot of people out there who seem to think that there's still some sort of untapped potential with James, and I think there probably is some of that. But realistically, it's just not going to work here. There was multiple games throughout this past season where he was just not really looking like a finished NBA product in any type of way. He was missing uncontested rebounds at times, and then you would get a few good stretches where he would look great. But overall, his feel for the game is just not anywhere where you would need it to be with a 4-year NBA player. And I do understand he was hurt throughout a lot of his career and all of that, but after how many years can you just move away from the excuses like, oh, he just needs reps, he just needs time on the floor, he needs to play with these people, he needs to play with those people? Realistically, he had an opportunity in Golden State on a contender, didn't work out there, and then he also had an opportunity on a tanking team in Detroit, and it still really didn't click here. So overall, I definitely do wish the best for James, but I think that the Pistons are making the right move by moving on from him. Definitely free up some of those backup center minutes that last year were sometimes allocated to Marvin Bagley before he left, sometimes allocated to Mike Muscala before he left. And to be honest, they looked better with either of those guys out there, especially Muscala, than they did with James Wiseman with that bench unit. I do like James. I just don't think it's a good fit for us right now. I think that this is the right thing to do. I think actually there's a good chance he might follow Troy Weaver to Washington. That's probably the most likely destination for him. I think that just kind of makes sense. The Washington Wizards are pretty much where we are at the same point in time where we went and got James Wiseman. It would make a lot of sense for him to go out there. He'd definitely be, back competing with Marvin Bagley for minutes. So maybe it's all just meant to be for him out in Washington. But like I said, I definitely don't want to tear the dude down or anything like that. But at some point, you do just have to come to terms with the fact that after 4 years in the league, he's definitely not going to be the guy that a lot of people wanted him to be. And that's okay. He doesn't need to, not everyone's going to be a star. Not everyone's going to live up to their draft pick. And looking back on it, he probably should have never been picked second in the draft anyhow. Weird COVID year. He was hurt. He was really raw. And yeah, he definitely shouldn't have been picked second. But that's no knock to him. I really don't want to make a video tearing down James, even though at times throughout the year, I was just really fed up with him. Not happy with his development, not happy with what he was doing on the basketball floor for the team that I love, and it's really that simple. But there's definitely been players who have been here that when they leave, I'm excited to see them go. I'm not excited to see James go, but I do think that it's the right decision, and it's just not the right time and place for him. Right now, the Pistons need to prioritize 2 things. Guys that are known NBA commodities, you know what you're going to get out of them, and guys who are full of potential, but not in their 5th year in the NBA, if that makes sense. The reclamation projects we had come through the door, absolutely zero of them worked out. You could go on a whole list. Marvin Bagley, James Wiseman, Dennis Smith. We even tried to trade for Bull. We went and got Kevin Knox. We went and got, I don't even know, loads of them. And none of them really worked. That's okay. We're moving on to a new era. Hopefully, when we're looking to fill this backup center role, either it's just Isaiah Stewart. I'd be okay with that being our backup center. Or we go look for somebody who maybe pushes Duren to the bench. Or at the very least, is somebody who we know is a plus NBA player. And even though, like I said, I don't want to tear down James Wiseman, if you look at his advanced numbers, like, we were awful with him on the floor. I'm pretty sure he had the worst plus minus out of anyone on the team. And I know a lot of people don't like the plus minus stat. A lot of the plus minus stats are dictated by who's around you when you're on the floor. But either way, when James Wiseman checked into the game, we were a worse team because of it. And that's just a fact. I mean, I'm sorry, you know what I mean? Like I said, I've mentioned it 100 times. I don't want to tear the guy down. I think he could still find his way in this league, but the Pistons did not look good with him on the floor, and I'm okay with moving on. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know where you guys think would be a good landing spot for Wiseman. Wish him nothing but the best. Appreciate his time here. Just didn't work out. Simple as that. And that's okay. I'll catch up with you guys soon, and happy draft day.